Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be resurrecting this 66 Mustang Fastback, giving it a full restoration and getting it ready for paint. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so let me walk you down memory lane. This thing here, I went with the young shots to go pick this thing up. It was a pretty good car for the budget that TJ was looking for. It was running and it looked pretty decent. The paint job, I would say, was about maybe a 5-6 out of 10, but from 10 feet away, whoo, this thing looked pretty good. It was a driver until TJ decided to grenade this thing with nitrous, and I don't even think it ever did grenade. But then we pulled out the 302 that was in here and then swapped it out with the RB26. We had some fun with that thing. TJ pretty much handed us the big L at the track with the Coyote versus this thing, but it's been fun. He dropped this off to me, I want to say maybe last year sometime. I don't know. It was right before SEMA. We're really busy doing other SEMA builds, stuff like that. He said, hey, don't worry, this is a next year's project. So here we are completing this full build. Now, this is a restoration that we started by stripping everything down to bare metal. All right, guys, so TJ's Mustang has been fully stripped down. There was a lot of Bondo on here. There's still a little bit on here, but we're taking this thing bare metal, fixing all this stuff, you know, fixing everything that's on here, and getting this thing in some epoxy primer tomorrow. This is the #1 step that we're taking to get this thing, to ensure that it's gonna be a good restoration, right? You don't wanna work on some of the old stuff. This car being so old, we didn't want to, you know, be okay with, just how this thing was. So we stripped it down to bare metal to go ahead and ensure that this was gonna be a job that well done. So that means we removed all the paint down to bare metal. We pulled all the metal and did all the body work properly, not just on top of the old stuff. Now, the reason we did this because it's more of a restoration. So this thing it's going a little bit deeper, right? This is a full frame car now from Roadster Shop. Anybody that knows anything about hot rods, a Roadster Shop chassis is nothing cheap. Bare brakes, I mean, this thing has it all. And on top of that, it's gonna have a really badass paint job soon. So after we stripped this thing down to bare metal, we continued doing all the body work. We shot some primer, did body work, primed it again, and then here we are now finishing up the engine bay.
What's up, guys? Sao here from SOS Customs. We are working on TJ's Mustang Fastback. Want to give you guys an update. We have been working on it for a while now, and there's just a lot of body work. Once we took this down, there was a lot of rust. So we went ahead and got new fenders, as you can see here. We got a new hood, got some nice, we're gonna be changing out the hinges. As you know, we already kind of welded everything inside the firewall, cleaned it up and body worked it and primed it. The one thing that we're doing right now is just kind of going through the alignment. We got some new hinges and doing the body work on the roof, which is quite a bit. And we're starting to do the body work on the quarters. This is like a factory. You can see that this was never replaced, which is pretty cool. But they used to use like a bronze or some sort of maybe like a silicone bronze or lead that would go into this pour, and that was all filled with Bondo. So we're gonna grind it all out, treat it, and then obviously we're gonna have to fill it a little bit, or we might try to see if we can add some metal to that, so that to avoid a lot of body filler. But as you can see, we're starting to square everything off and get all the body work on this thing dialed in. This quarter panel is kind of wonky and it probably had a repair at one point. Doesn't look like nothing on the door. Maybe the door got replaced. It's coming along, and it's gonna be nice. We're doing it right, taking it down to bare metal. Especially with these restorations, a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of time that goes into it, and that's why they're so expensive, because it's just endless of hours of body working, prepping everything. It's not like a new car that everything's, metal's new and you're not redoing. This is gonna need everything. I mean, seals, this. We just took out the glass, and obviously there's going to be a little bit of rust. It looked like it was clean, but you know, there's always little rust here and there, and we're going to have to take care of. Same with the back glass. It's pretty clean. You can see maybe that's the original color back then. It was like almost like a burgundy or something. But you know, it's going to have little rust here and there that we have to take care of, and that's just part of the deal. So I told TJ, I go, once you get this thing locked in, we got race number 2. So you got to bug TJ and tell TJ, hey, when they finish that car, we're going on another race. So let's see who wins this time. So my clutch is solid now. Shout out to McLeod Clutches getting me that twin disc, so we know we're gonna be slipping. The only thing slipping is gonna be those back tires, but we'll see how it goes. So let's continue working on this thing.
About 200 hours of body work so far into stripping this thing down, body working it, priming it, body working it, priming it. This is our second time, actually our third time primer if you include after we stripping it. But if you guys can see, all our gaps are looking very, very amazing, and they didn't look so when we first began. Especially this hood, we ended up getting a new fiberglass hood. And that fiberglass hood did not match at all. Like every pretty much contact point to the Jason panel didn't match up. Our gaps are looking mighty crispy all the way around, including the trunk. I mean, we got this thing really nice. Now there's still a little bit of work to be done, right? But I think after this week, we will block this whole thing down and make it really, really nice. But one area that I noticed is right here. You guys can see that this kind of this line gets a little bit bigger here, and it does not do so over here. So that'll be a little bit of blocking and messing around with. Also, TJ has tasked us with doing a body fit bumper. So we got to get one of those as well as we just did the lower valence panel with the muffler deletes, all the body work around there, and getting it to fit perfectly to the edge as well. We're using a Vibrance PPG epoxy primer. This is our second coat of that, so it has about 6 layers of primer on it so far, but some of it was blocked off during the body work process. But we have stripped a lot of the Bondo on this thing, you know, fixed the metal, body worked it, and again, now we are here. This whole valence was way off and it didn't match up exactly to this fender. So we have got this thing just sitting exactly where we want it. The next thing that we're gonna do is tackle the engine bay. So we have kind of stripped it down to bare metal and primered it, but now it's time to kind of smooth it out, give it a last coat of primer, and get it looking really good in the engine bay, and give the whole car its final block and get it ready for paint. 2, which we don't really know the color yet, but I have a little bit of a clue. Mr. TJ.
You know, a lot of days I forget I even own this car.
Yeah?
And I'm like, oh yeah, I still have that.
You still have that?
That's why I'm here making a video with it. I owe the people an explanation.
I think, you know, everybody owes explanation as to what color you're choosing.
I have no idea.
No?
We were talking a lot off camera. We just made a video for my channel that's like asking people for opinion. We were gonna do like a white cream with blue and then red with white. And I just feel like that's so like expected that I'm like, all right, like I don't know. Like I feel like picking a color for like an old classic car is it's out of my like element. So I'm like unsure on which one I want, because I feel like if it's like a modern car or like anything like that, I'm like, okay, like I know like what would work on that. Like I know what's like what would fit, but I don't know what would fit outside of the realm of white with red or white with blue. So we're asking the people, and I'm asking you. I went to Oscar, I was like, you should pick. You do this for a living. You should have better input than me, but I guess it's my car, I should decide, but I don't know. I don't know, but we don't have much more time left because this thing is supposed to be at SEMA in a few months, and interior is supposed to be done as well. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck is right. We want to keep the seats. I mean, like,
I don't know. I think this is what we do. We keep the seat bases, but we do a different style foam to kind of give it a different look.
Yeah.
And kind of beef up the interior. Different style door panel, and then we have to do some leather in here and maybe a little bit of houndstooth. So like that.
Houndstooth for sure. And like we need like replace the carpet.
For sure, carpet. Nice, a really nice center console from front to rear. Nice leather in the trunk too. Like, dude, this thing has to be one of your nicest cars. Steve.
I know.
Like,
I've never done something like this, so I want to do it nice. I'm so deep into it that I'm like, when do I stop?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Usually with a lot of cars, I'll be like, hey, I'll go this deep into it. I know what it will be valued at. Yeah. So when I want to get rid of it, and it's at least covered. But this is like so off in the realm of like one-off. Yeah. But I suppose a lot of classic cars are.
Oh yeah.
Like a lot of resto mods have weird engines in them, and this is a very weird one. So we were like, okay, well, let's just make it as beautiful and perfect on the outside and on the inside, because we know the drivetrain, everything is super solid and great. So we're just gonna make like an overall great package. And like, I don't know if I'm gonna be keeping this car. I don't know. I have no idea what the future of this car holds. I have absolutely zero idea. But we were like, don't worry about that now. Let's worry about making it perfect, making it look really good. And then if I drive it and it's great, I'll keep it forever, or maybe I'll get rid of it. I don't know. It's just one of those, like, I forgot I even was I'm so worried about focusing on things at home and at the shop that I like haven't put any thought into this in 10 months. And then we had the deal, let's bring it to SEMA. So we're like, okay, now we gotta start focusing on it again.
I feel like that actually though, like, kind of gives us like a deadline and a goal to reach, and it kind of just gets us that much more focused.
We won't finish, so like we have to come up with something.
Yeah. All right, and so this is pretty much the last thing, the engine bay, before we finish up the rear bumper. So all the body work has been wrapped up. TJ came, gave his blessing, said everything looks nice. We got a body like snug fit rear bumper, and then we got a deleted exhaust rear panel. So we just have to do the body work around that. Give it one final block and prime, and this thing's ready for paint. So TJ is still kind of indecisive on the color, but the body work and just kind of finishing on all the engine bays coming out really good. We're smoothing out that rear firewall, the firewall, and just getting all even the jams real nice and smooth, because this thing needs to look good. You know, me and my brother both have Mustang Fastbacks that we've built. And so, you know, every time we do a fastback, it's like, hey, you know, we gotta put a little bit of extra love into this thing. So it's
maybe you guys can come and think what color. He hasn't picked. He's kind of indecisive. Like, what color you think they should be, knowing the colors that we have, and kind of an iconic Mustang color that would fit really, really good. You know, comment below and tell me what you guys think. One thing too is, TJ, after you're done with this, we need that rematch. All right.
He says that you need to. He says that you need to run it back. Run it back one more time. But yeah, dude, I'm really happy with how this thing's coming out. It's a lot of love that's been going into this thing. We stripped everything back off, fit everything. I mean, if you guys can see that these gaps are looking real nice all the way around. And we're finishing off with the engine bay, and we're hoping to do color sometime this week. So like Saul says, we really need to get a color down. TJ is very indecisive on this thing. You know, I don't know if Saul knows, but he also mentioned a British Racing Green again. I don't know what you think about that, but you know TJ,
you know, TJ with his greens, you know.
That's kind of his mark, you know.
His mark, yeah.
Yeah, that's his color. Like that name should not be called British Racing Green. It should be called TJ Hunt Green or
Chotch Green,
Big Chotch Green, something like that. But Oh man, this is coming along. It's been a long way. I'm glad you guys to see a little bit of what goes into the body work. A lot of guys, a lot of hours into this thing, because it's an old car. You know what I mean? And you don't want to work off old people's work. You know, it was a 10-footer before, but now we're making it ready for the debut at SEMA once again. And we actually had a little bit more time with this car, so we're gonna finish it a little bit nicer. So thank you guys for watching today's video. This was something that really wanted you guys to see, kind of everything that goes into a build like this. You know, we don't show you every single little thing because there's so many hours. This video would be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks long. Like, you guys would have to just log on here every day. But yeah, man, I mean, Saul's done, you know, it's funny that we have all these different types of Mustangs. We've done mine, it's like more of a stock. Saul has the full crazy wide body, you know, Coyote build. And then this is another style resto mod with a Japanese motor, which is sacrilegious. Like, that's so crazy, but I think it's gonna get the same amount of love regardless. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe and notification, and give us a follow on IG. I'm gonna drop my link, my brother, and the shops. Give us all a follow. If you guys have any question related Mustang stuff, you know, body work, I definitely help you guys out. Mechanical, Saul, and upholstery, he'll be able to help you out as well. And just messages on the shop if you have questions about pricing and maybe doing a build like this for your guys' car. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video here at SOS Customs.
We got you covered.
Peace.